Hello my loves, it's Kemi. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing high-end versus dupe. Comment down below right now which side you think is the high-end side and which side you think is the drugstore. Can you even tell that I've got one side drugstore and one side high-end? Like, does it all just look the same? Low-key, not to toot my own horn, I feel like I got some really good dupes for you guys, and trust me, this ain't your regular dupes either, so you're in for a treat. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. I low-key guarantee you guys some of these dupes in today's video you haven't thought of. I'm about to put you on. We're gonna do eyes first just to get out of the way. I'm not gonna do anything, you know, spectacular with my eyes anyway. Before we jump into it, I just want to let you guys know that although these products are dupes, it does not knock the fact that the high-end products are also really good products. I feel like some of these dupes actually came out before the original, so technically they're not really a copy of the original. I just feel like they're quite similar, and if you don't want to spend, you know, so much money on the high-end one, I'm gonna show you guys an alternative that you can pick up instead. Starting off with eyes, because these two eyeshadow palettes are really similar. The price difference between them is not much. I actually count both of this brand as drugstore brand, but one is more on like the higher side of the drugstore and one is more on like the more cheaper, affordable side of the spectrum within the drugstore. And one of the brands is DUPES. This is going to be our high-end eyeshadow palette for today's video. I really like this palette, and I feel like there is so many eyeshadow palettes that looks like this. I want to say Natasha Denona has an eyeshadow palette that is very similar to this, but her palettes are like, honestly, around £50, whereas this is actually quite affordable. I believe this is like £19.50, so this is already a dupe of like a higher end brand. But I also feel like the Colourpop Not a Box of Chocolate eyeshadow palette, it's very similar. Although the colours are not placed in the same layout, I feel like they have very similar shades. The box of chocolate one retails for about $16, which is about £14 here. So it's not like a big price difference. We're gonna do this side high end, this side drugstore. Starting with the high end side of my face, we're gonna grab this brown shade right here. We're gonna blend out my outer corners into our crease. Both palettes are stunning, very pigmented, and a little goes a long way with both of them. Grabbing a different brush, I'm gonna go into my Colourpop Not a Box of Chocolate eyeshadow palette, and we're gonna grab this shade Crazy for Cocoa. And look how close both shades look. They look identical. Next we're gonna go into the Cover Shop palette, and then we're gonna grab this deeper brown shade right here. I'm just gonna deepen up our crease with this. Cousins, look at the pigment. Not a Box of Chocolate palette, we're gonna grab this shade called That's Rich, which is this shade right here. Grabbing it on a new clean brush and just placing that in my outer corners. I'm actually going to mix the That's Crazy shade with this dark brown shade just to give me that deepness. And then to blend out our transition shade, I'm going to go back into the Coffee Shop palette. I'm going to grab this light brown orangey shade right here. I'm going to place that as our transition shade. Then our Not a Box of Chocolate palette, we're going to grab this shade right here called Tiramisu. We're going to use that as our transition colour for this side of our face. And for our lid, we're going to go in with this shade in the Cover Shop palette. I'm going to flip my brush to the other side, and then we're going to use this shade for the Colourpop side. Then I'm going to mix it actually with this light shade here. And brighten it up there we go. Very similar. The undertone's a little bit different, but you guys get what I mean, like the shades are quite similar. I'm mixing a little bit of this shade just to make the colours and this shade actually, just to make the colours similar. And honestly, I actually don't think you can tell that I've got two different eyeshadow palettes on. Yes, in the Colourpop palette, I did have to like mix 2 shades to get the exact same shade as my Juvia's Place one, but in terms of like how close in shades they are, amazing. Both palettes are pigmented, they blend out effortlessly, and they're long lasting as well. Everything blends simultaneously into each other and just looks really good. Now that we've got the eyes out the way, we can move on to skin, the most, you know, exciting part. So starting off with a primer dupe. Here we have the Vitamin Enrich Face Base by Bobbi Brown. This retails for a whopping £54. I do believe they come in smaller sizes as well, which you can get for like £30-something. This is a really good face base primer. I don't really use it that much because I like to use it only on special occasions, because obviously I do not want to waste this. It melts really nicely into the skin. It smells amazing. This makes my skin feel plumped and soft. For its dupe, we have here the Revolution Super Base Vitamin Base Primer. Now there is no doubt that Revolution purposely made this as a dupe for the Bobbi Brown, because it's literally within the name and similar packaging as well. You did get a lot more from Revolution. This bad boy retails for £10, so there is a £44 difference. Okay, very similar consistency. This actually doesn't have any scent to it. It does melt in a lot quicker than my Bobbi Brown, and it's making my skin feel very soft as well. And the finish of both products is practically the same. Maybe the Bobbi Brown's giving it a tiny bit more glow to the... No, actually no, it's literally the same. They both feel really nice. So next, for my hydrating setting mist, I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 mist on the high side of my face. I really like the setting spray. It just melts in your makeup, and it has oils at the top of it as well. That's why you need to shake it well. It smells really good. It smells like skincare goodness. It just brings a lot of glow to my skin. Now for its dupe, I think the Beauty Club Oud Cherry Hydrating Duo Face Setting Mist is a very close dupe. They also have the Vitamin Babe Hydrating Mist as well. I just prefer the Oud Cherry one because 1, I like the scent of it, and 2, this one has hyaluronic acid, while this one is enriched with vitamin C and orange blossom. I like hyaluronic acid within my setting sprays. Look at the finish. Is there a difference? Cousins. The Rare Beauty retails for £26, whereas the Oud Cherry retails for £12. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to save you guys a lot of money. Okay, just a little disclaimer, although we might be getting the same finish and the same long wear of a product, I just want to say that the ingredients in high-end brands tend to be better for your skin than drugstore. Sometimes it's not the case, but majority of high-end brands, what you're really paying for is the quality and the longevity of the product. Next, for color correcting, we're going to be using the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage Brighten Corrector Duo. I've got the shade 6W here, which I absolutely love. Like, I genuinely feel like this is a really good color corrector, but it does cost £34, which you most definitely do not need to be spending on a color corrector. Like, £34 is a lot, but I really do like it. I'm just literally just using the tiniest amount that is left of this product. But you can see how beautifully it glides on. They do have a really good shade range. You cannot have the fact that this blends amazing into the skin. But I believe that the NYX Spray Fix Color Correcting Stick is literally the exact same thing. She glides on smoothly like Laura Mercier. The shade range of this as well is amazing. Obviously there is a slight difference with the shades, but in terms of how both products blended out, in terms of the coverage of both products, in terms of how they both look on the skin, it's the same. By the way, the NYX Spray Fit Sticks retails for £7. So one side is £34, one side is £7. That is a big difference. Okay, next for foundation, we're going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin foundation. I've got here the shade 15 Neutral and 17 Cool. I mixed both of the shades to get my shade. This retails for £39 each, so technically I spent £78 for my foundation. That is a lot, because £78 on the foundation, that's crazy. I don't mind mixing foundations, but the amount of money that goes into it is a lot. let's not lie, the foundation is beautiful. It looks really good on the skin. It has a medium coverage. It's not liquidy. It has a bit of thickness to her, but you don't feel it on the skin. And with Charlotte Tilbury, she incorporates a lot of good skincare ingredients within her product. You're really paying for the quality of her products. But the only problem is Charlotte Tilbury does not have shades. And that's why you see me picking up 2 foundations just to get, you know, a shade that works well for me. But yeah, like, the foundation does look good. However, the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Finish Foundation, I feel like the wear and the finish of the foundation is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one. I also do have to mix 2 shades of this foundation to get a shade to work for me. However, this foundation only cost £8 each. £16 compared to £78. Which one would you choose? The shade I've got here is 64 Rich Neutral, and I also got 62 Rich Warm. In terms of consistency, it's the same. They both have the same, you know, thickness. And the thing about mixing foundation is that you do need to get the right ratio. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. I'm gonna grab a clean brush and then we're just gonna blend it out. Cousins, tell me the finish of both foundation isn't the same. Can you tell the difference? Next for concealer, there isn't a big price difference within these 2 concealers. However, I feel like they're both similar in terms of finishes. On our high-end side, we're going to be using the Sephora Best Skin Ever Full Coverage Multi-Use Concealer. This is in the shade 55N. On the Drugstore side, we're going to be using the Rimmel London, the Multitasker Concealer. This is in the shade 105 Cinnamon. Coverage on both concealer is similar. They both have medium coverage, and I feel like they have the same finish. Both concealer have a really good shade range. They are both medium coverage and they blend out effortlessly on the skin. And I also feel like both concealers are a dupe for the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer. Getting my sponge to just further blend this out. Next we have cream bronzer dupes. We're going to be using the NARS Laguna bronzer in the shade 05. I do like this bronzer. I wish they have more shades. It has like a dry, moussey texture. It's really pretty on the skin. I just wish they have more deeper shades. This bronzer retails for £36. It smells lovely and a little goes a long way with this, so I like it. I just wish they came out with more shades. If you're not willing to pay £36 on a bronzer, I understand. You can pick up the Milani cream bronzer instead. This retails for £10.80. The shades are very, very similar. You can also pick up the e.l.f. Putty bronzers as well. These are really good. I'm just going to use her to bronze this side of our face. This one doesn't have any scent to it. I mean, Milani does have a better shade for you to use because NARS only have 5 shades, whereas Milani, honestly, they have maybe 8 shades. Can't really remember how much shades they have, but it's definitely more than 5. Next for cream blush, again, these are products that are very close in price. They are both Drugstore again. I feel like e.l.f. definitely duped Juvia's Place with their liquid blush. This is in the shade Lady Love, and you guys know how much I absolutely love the shade. I'm gonna grab it at the back of my hand and then work it on my brush. This liquid blush retails for $18, and I want to say that's like £14.50 in pounds. And she is stunning, she is beautiful, she is pigmented. I absolutely love this blush. But the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush retails for £7, but I do have to mix these 2 shades called Bronze Bombshell and Coral Crush to get a shade that's similar to this. And on the back of my hand, I'm just gonna mix the 2 together. Not the exact same shade, but same undertone type of family. Just gonna grab that on a clean brush. I will say that the e.l.f. one, you do have to build up, whereas the Juvia's Place one just gives you instant pigment. Bloody stunning, if I do say so myself. Next, as you guys know, I like to go in to lightly set my under eye with a face powder that is 2 to 3 shades lighter than my skin tone before going in with my setting powder. But here we have a mini Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder in the shade 3 Tan. I ordered this 2 days ago and I was not expecting it to be this tiny. This is the original size. It cost £38, whereas this mini size cost me £22. I might as well just pay the full price because what? I really did not know that this is how small it will come. Like Cousins. Like, I feel like I got robbed. But yeah, I'm gonna use Charlotte Tilbury on this side of my face, of course. The actual product is so good. I've been looking for the shade, but it's always sold out whenever I want to purchase it. But I'm actually really glad I got the shade now because it actually looks so beautiful. Like, it just gives like a filter effect to your skin. Oh, she's actually stunning. But you know what else is stunning? The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder. Now this bad boy is £9. Not only do you get way more product, there is more shade range in this. Now I wouldn't say this is a bang on dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, but it has a very, very beautiful finish. By the way, the shade I'm wearing in this is also called Tan. For £9 you get more products and more shades to pick from. However, we cannot lie, the finish of the Charlotte Tilbury is top tier. You can decide for yourself which one you like best. I love both products, so don't ask me, okay? Next for setting powder, we're gonna be using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is the honey shade. The price of this actually varies. Some brands sell it for £35, others sell it for £39, because I do know that they have some limited edition packaging, so that could be the reason. She is a 10 out of 10, would recommend. She is amazing. Photographs wells, long lasting. She is beautiful, absolutely stunning, wouldn't trade her. But a really good scent spray that is half the price is the Trigger Cosmetics translucent setting powder. This retails for £14.50. She is really, really good. I don't see a lot of people talking about this powder. Everyone just talks about their powder puff, which I'm gonna use. Their setting powder as well, really good. Tell me these are not the same powders. Like, what? Look how smooth the powder is. That powder is super fine as well. Half the price of my Laura Mercier. Half it. I'm really putting you guys on today. Like, what? Next, for Oliver face powder. I don't think they're necessarily dupes of each other, but these are the two that I really like and I wanted to show to you guys. So we have here the NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder, which is going to go up against the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Press Powder. The shade of them are similar, but I feel like the CC Perfecting one has better coverage. By the way, the NARS powder retails for £34, whereas the CC Perfecting Press Powder retails between £3.50 to £11, depending on where you get it from. On the actual website, you can get some shades that's like £3.50, but on Amazon, you can get it for like £11. So, depending on the retailer, it's within that price range, which is a big difference. Actually, I thought it would be like a big difference, but low-key, they're looking the same. It might be a dupe for each other because they both have similar finishes. And yes, I finally found a high-end face powder that works well for my skin. Next on our list is powder bronzers. We're actually going to be using powder foundations. On our high-end side, we're going to be using the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation in the shade 495. Mine is busted, but she's still good. I couldn't find like a direct dupe for my bronzers, and you guys know that I like to use powder foundations anyway to set my bronzers in place, so that's what we're using them today. This retails for £34. Now we're going to go into the Juvia's Place powder foundation. This powder foundation retails for £14.50, which is again near half the price. Both products have a really good shade range. They have a medium coverage and they really show up well. I don't have eyeliner or lashes to compare for you guys, so we're just gonna quickly do that off camera. Actually, before I apply my lashes, we're gonna apply some setting sprays. I've got here the One Size Beauty Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. This retails for £30. This is a really, really good setting spray. It's going up against the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting spray. Low-key, they both smell the same. They both have that like tightening effect. This actually isn't a mattifying setting spray, which is why you guys can see the little glow that it's given me. Oh, I think I messed up. Oh. For my high-end powder blush, we're going to be using the Benefit powder blush in the shade Java. This blushes retails for £31. I'm not gonna lie to you, cousins, especially the shade Java. She's stunning. She is just so pretty. Like, just look at her. She is beautiful. She is pigmented. Like, the shade just looks so good on my skin tone. She is really pretty. But if you don't want to spend £31 on a powder blush, don't worry. The EX1 blusher in the shade Love Story very, very similar, and she as well is as pigmented. You kind of low-key need to layer this up a little bit, but other than that, she as well pretty. But I feel like you can see that the Benefit one just blends a little bit more softer and smoother into the skin, and it just looks embedded into my skin. This is stunning. She's pretty, but you can see the difference in quality here. By no means I'm saying spend £31 on a blusher, because that's a little bit crazy, but if you want to, just know this is what you're getting, okay? You're definitely getting quality with the Benefit blusher. Lastly for lips, we are doing the Too Faced Lip Injection Lip Gloss, which retails for £24. You guys know how much I absolutely love the Too Faced Lip Injections. I feel like they are one of the best high-end lip products. I'm going to mix in the shade Soulmate and Secure the Bag to create the dupe shade. And for our dupe, we're going to be using the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss. This is in the shade Mocha Twist. Tell me this is just not one shade. Both products has a tingling sensation. Obviously the Too Faced one is a little bit more intense. I'm now just going to finish it off with my clear lip gloss from the Hair Shop. You guys know that I love doing this step. So my loves, we have come to the end of today's video. What do you guys think of all the makeup dupes that we used? Can you tell by the finish of the makeup? I feel like in terms of the outcome, it's very, very similar. They're not the same, but my goodness, they are very, very close. With me, you guys know that I love both high-end products and drugstore. I judge a product by if it's good and if it works for me. So yeah, this is all for today's video, cousins. Let me know if you want to see another high-end versus dupe, and I'll try to use different products as well. Please comment down below. Like always, I love you guys so much, and inshallah, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, cousins. Mwah.